Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Prepping for Prosperity. I'm Steve Smith. I want to talk about the proper use of credit cards here, and I think I'm going to title this, Should You Use Credit Cards? Not, You Should Not Use Credit Cards, because we're going to shoot another hole in the Ramsey cult on this. And the reason that I do this, I don't mean to keep beating up on poor Dave, but I get so many questions out there that obviously come from his teachings, his one-size-fits-all teachings, and how can I say this kindly? Not everybody is the same size. Let me put it that way, shall we? Here on this channel, I talk to people as if they are adults and responsible adults. And that kind of sets this apart from many of the people who have jumped on board the Ramsey train over the years and cannot find a way off that train, or do not understand how other ways are not only just as valid, but in many cases much more valid and much more productive. So let me address this question that I've had several times. By the way, before I get into this, I just put over on the Patreon channel, for those of you who are on Patreon, a column written by Robert Kiyosaki. He is warning against hyperinflation, war, and starvation. I think that it's a very good possibility. I'm not going to get into that too much today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow or the next day. But the BRICS countries, if you're familiar with what they are organizing. They're pulling their money out of the U.S. dollar and trying to they are developing a new currency of exchange, okay, that they say is going to be backed by the dollar and by gold. I'm sorry, it's going to be backed by gold, and many of them are buying gold. Boy, are we going to get into gold here for a second? We just might. And there is a report that central banks all across are buying up as much gold as they can. Now, our gold acolytes out there will say, that's great. See, that's going to drive up the price of gold. Do you think so? Do you think so? And the interesting thing is that even though the people who maintain that they buy gold as a hedge against inflation, because many years ago they bought it as an investment, and when it looks like it's not that good an investment, now they say, oh no, we don't buy it for an investment, we buy it as a hedge against inflation. Let me explain something to you here. So we have inflation roaring rampant, don't we? The inflation is far higher than it is. I guess we're getting off on that gold here for a minute. So this is for those of you who can be, I don't want you all to be confused by the noise that you hear by the true believers and the cultists. And Ramsey is one, and the goldites are another. I just checked the price of gold here. For those who say, should I buy gold? And with everybody buying up gold, I should buy gold because it's going to go up, right? Okay, let's take a look at this. I just checked it about 2 minutes before I started this. Today's gold price is $1,995.70 at the time that I checked it. Right now, it could be 72 cents, could be 68 cents. Doesn't matter. So keep that in mind, $1,995.70. Let's look back and see what an investment that has been. Okay, and because if it's a hedge against inflation, okay, it should be a lot higher now, right, than it was. Let's go back to the year 2000. That's 23 years. Okay, and so if it's a hedge against inflation, it must have been a lot lower, right? Well, it turns out that in 2000, gold was going for $1,950. Do you remember our first number? $1,995? So in 23 years, gold has returned a $45 increase. Who out there thinks that $45 over a period of 23 years is a good deal? Okay. What is that, $2 a year? So the people who bought gold in 2000, they've made $2 a year on that. And if it hedged against inflation, I don't see that either, do you? Let's take a look at, and here's where the people get into problems with gold. What if you needed to sell it? Okay, now I just picked a year in there, 2007. What if you bought your gold in 2000 because of all the commercials that told you you need to buy gold, and you bought it for $1,950? And in 2007, right before the housing market crashed, you wanted to sell that gold. So that, whatever, you want to buy some real estate or something. Well, if you sold that in 2000, you would have gotten $1,811 an ounce for it. That doesn't sound good to me. That's over $100 loss. I'm sure that the gold people will have many excuses for that, but those are the numbers. Just realize, just because somebody is hyping stuff up doesn't make it good. You need to think for yourself. And here's the problem also. I'm going to tell you another for those of you holding gold, or hopefully you're not buying gold now. You might think that with the BRICS countries talking about creating a currency backed by gold, you might think that's going to be great for gold. And with the central banks holding gold and buying as much gold, you might think that's going to be great for gold. You know what they could do? They could do what they did once before. They could make private ownership of gold illegal. And tell me, do you think that they are going to give you what you think gold is worth when they declare it illegal? And you're going to have the same decision that people are going to have, if they make guns illegal. You're going to say, well, should I hold it and be a criminal, or should I get rid of it? That's going to be up to you. But if you hold it, you're going to be holding something that is illegal to trade. Think about that. And remember, for those who say, but when it all collapses, gold is going to be worth everything. No, it's not. Or silver or what? No, you know what's going to be worth everything? Guns, ammo, and cans of beans. Food. So there's our little gold lesson for today, for all those. And I'm sure that we'll have people come on here and assure me that gold has always been money. Wrong. Gold will always be money. Wrong. You see, they don't understand what money is. Okay, so that's gold. Don't worry about the gold. Credit. Should you use credit cards? Let me talk just about credit cards, because when we talk about credit, it's almost impossible for anyone who's not filthy rich to live without credit. Okay, so let's talk about credit cards, because those are the things that most people stumble over. Okay, and it's the one thing that I get more questions on than anything else, as it concerns, and because of Dave Ramsey. Let's back up and go to several of our comments when I put out the one about Ramsey admitted he was wrong. A couple of our comments pointed out that the Ramsey audience, for the most part, are people who have been extremely irresponsible with credit, as Ramsey had been, and therefore are afraid of it, and therefore want to jump on a wagon that tells them that credit is horrible, that debt collectors are horrible, that banks are evil, that credit card companies are evil, And all this because it makes them feel better. Okay? None of those things are correct. It's business, and it's a matter of responsibility. So let me talk about something here. I use a credit card to make money. How do I do that? And you can too. And here's what I want to explain it. You can too. Now, where this came from was a comment that somebody left telling me about how offended they were when they saw Dave Ramsey making fun of a caller. And I guess one of his favorite sayings is, "I never talked to a millionaire who said that he got made his millions off of cash back on credit cards." And this was, I think it was obviously a caller who said, "Well, I get cash back on my credit cards." To which Ramsey, in his very superior, condescending way, said, "Well, I never knew a millionaire that says he made his millions off of his cash back on his credit cards." Well, you see, that's a fallacious argument. It's called a straw man argument. It's an argument the person wasn't making. Ramsey set it up as if it was an argument, and it's stupid. And then he knocks it down when there wasn't anything to knock down. It's one of his cute sayings that people who aren't thinking go along with. Well, let me tell you, I make money. I make a lot of money off of a credit card. How do I do it? I spend a lot on business expenses. Okay, all of my books that I order, everything, I can either pay cash or I can use a credit card. Now, why would I use a credit card instead of cash if I'm just going to use that cash to pay off the credit card at the end of the month? Because of the cash back I get. I make hundreds of dollars a year. I haven't really figured it up. I probably make well over $1,000, maybe more than that a year, just in cash back on a credit card that I use to put in all my book orders, everything like that. Why would I not do that? Why would I not do that? I'm not going to make $1 million off of that. That's not how they're not thinking. Nobody's thinking, Dave, about making millions of dollars by using a credit card and get your cash back. What they're thinking is that it would be stupid to leave hundreds of dollars on the table when they don't have to. If a credit card is willing to give you 2% or whatever it is, I forget what mine gives me, but I know that every time I check it, it's more money, more money, more money, more money. Okay. Why would I not do that? You see, it's stupid not to do that. Here's the thing, because the problem with credit cards is not the credit, it's irresponsibility. It's irresponsible use of the credit. It's possible to make money out of debt. I know that seems strange, and that's a little more advanced. It is possible, but it has to be done responsibly. Okay, and we're not going to talk about that today. But why would you leave hundreds of dollars on the table if you can make it? Okay, they're hoping. Now, the reason that the credit card companies hope that you will do this, they'll use your cards because they expect people won't. And they're right. Most people won't pay off that credit card at the end of the month. But what if you're a responsible person who will? Why would you not use that? Why would you not make 2% on everything that you spend? If you run all of your household expenses through a credit card, you can be making a lot of money over the year. A lot of money. Why would you not do that? Okay. Well, it'd be silly not to. But the only thing is those people who are not responsible, it's a danger. But here again, it's not the credit, it's the irresponsible behavior. And this is the problem. Because when people say don't use credit or don't use credit cards, they are addressing the symptom, not the disease. And really, you want to be curing the disease. If you have a problem with irresponsible use of credit, you need to solve that problem. You need to cure the disease of irresponsibility. Because chances are it's not just irresponsibility in money, it's probably irresponsibility in a lot of things. And an adult is one who lives their life responsibly. So my audience is much different than Dave Ramsey's audience, is that the people who aren't responsible or haven't been responsible just love him. And I don't want you to love that. I want you to think of yourself as responsible. And if you're responsible, you can use these things. Let me give you another example. What if, and a matter of fact, it's something that just came up some time ago. Kentucky Gun had a sale on shotguns. I mean, it was an unbelievable sale on shotguns. There was Emperor shotguns, which are pretty decent, for $129 each for 12-gauge shotguns. Now, if you didn't know or don't know, a shotgun's going to cost you minimum $350 for any decent kind of shotgun. For a number of reasons, they had a big sale on Emperor shotguns. They're made in Turkey, but they are good firearms, and they had them for $129. I bought a number of them. But let's say that somebody didn't have the money to buy, and I didn't buy them to resell. I bought them to have, and in case I, want them in the future. But let's say that somebody saw that and they didn't have, they wanted to buy 5, say. They want to buy 5 shotguns. And so with tax and all, that's going to be, call it $150 a piece. So it's $750. Well, they don't have $750. Why do they want to buy 5 shotguns? Because they know 5 people that they can sell a shotgun to for $250. And those people don't know about this sale at Kentucky Gun. You see, this is how money is made. And so they go to these people and they say, hey, I've got a good deal on a shotgun. Would you be interested in buying a shotgun? And they all go, yeah. He finds 5 people. Yeah, I would. I said, okay. So he uses his credit card and he buys 5 shotguns. Okay, $750. And he turns around and he sells those for $250 a piece. And how much is that? $1,250? Right. So now, using that, he pays off his credit card, right? Of the $750, he pays it off, so he hasn't paid a penny in interest. Not a penny. He has used somebody else's money to buy this, pays it off, pays no interest, and now he has $500 in his pocket. He just made $500. You tell me what's stupid about that. I'll tell you that's smart. Let's use something other than a gun. Right up here on the wall. Let's see, is that it or is that it? Yeah, that's it. Right up here. This picture right there. I saw that at an estate sale, and it's a Thomas Kincaid. Now, it's not one of his originals, but it is one of those, and I forget what it's called. It's numbered and everything. It's worth money. Okay, it's not worth, $1 million. So don't break into my house to steal it. But it's worth money. I like Thomas Kincaid. The picture up there, that's Kelly. She has had it forever. So when I was at this estate sale, I was there the first day, and it was there. I said, I like that. And it was, I forget, it was several $100. And at the last day of an estate, I didn't buy it. I said, well, I'll come back on the last day, because I don't pay full price for anything. I'll come back on the last day. Everything's 50% off. And I'll tell you, nowadays in estate sales, a lot of things, the last day is 70% off. I went back. I didn't figure that would still be there, but it was. And so I got it for half price. Now, say that it was something that I wanted to sell, or say that it was something that you knew somebody who loved a Thomas Kincaid pictures, and you know that they could afford it. And you were there, and you didn't have any cash on you. and you called him and says, would you be interested? And if it's a family member, you wouldn't make a profit. Maybe you would. I don't know. People are different. But somebody that you don't mind making a profit off of, or you are willing to keep it for a couple of weeks and resell it. And at the end of the day, you check it and it's there, and you don't have the cash on you. Are you not going to get it? Or are you going to take out your credit card and buy it, and then sell it for twice as much or more than you bought it for, and then pay off that credit card at the end of the month and have hundreds of dollars in your pocket, which is the smart thing to do. We all know what the smart thing to do, right, is. So it's just the proper use of credit. That's probably one of the most important things that I try to get people to understand. And it's one of the hardest things that you can get a Ramsey cultist to understand, because they've had this drilled and drummed into them so hard that it's just, and maybe they've been irresponsible. And if they are, that's what they need to work on. Again, it's not the credit, it's the irresponsibility. And if you're a responsible adult, you handle things responsibly. And, responsible adults tend to do well financially. So if there is anything that needs to be worked on, it's not the dollars and cents, it's the responsibility. Because if you have responsibility, if you operate under a responsible financial umbrella, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna handle credit properly. You're gonna be able to use it for your benefit. Okay? And credit card companies aren't evil, and debt collectors aren't evil. All they are is people trying to get their money back from deadbeats who wouldn't pay it back. Simple as that. Now, I'm sorry if you haven't paid one back. I didn't mean to offend you by saying a deadbeat. Just turn it around. If you haven't been paying your stuff, just turn it around. Do it right from here on out, and you're going to feel better, and you're going to do well, and develop the ability to use credit properly, and you'll do a lot better than if you're trying to scrounge around and saving up and waiting 40 years to buy a house because you've been told you need to pay cash. All right. You all have a great day. Remember, I say this, put this in here. If you bought gold today, it was $1,995. If you'd bought it in 2000, 23 years ago, it was $1,950. So you've made a whopping $45 over the last 23 years. And if it was a hedge against inflation, those numbers would also be very different. You all have a good day. Remember that your prosperity is in your hands, so get out and do something, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.